Good?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you were thinking of what you were going to say.
I am. both of was happening. And then I'll start. Wow! Hey everybody, I'm Chef Ange, and this is a whole chicken. The whole chicken is the heavyweight champ of the world in feeding a family of 4. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a really nice recipe where we're gonna roast this chicken with stuff you probably already got lying around. It's gonna make a really, really nice sauce in the end, and this is gonna be a just wonderful chicken for you and for your family. The prep for this recipe outside of butchering the chicken is really easy. So let's get that oven on. So as soon as we're done dressing this chicken, we're gonna throw that right in that hot oven. So the first step to butchering a chicken is taking the wings off. At least this is where I like to start. So all you gotta do is just cut through the armpit of the chicken and then just pop the joint in the opposite direction. Once you can see the bone, just go right underneath the bone and that'll take off most of the meat. Next thing we're going to get to is going to be our leg quarter. So we're going to split the breast from the leg and just follow the gap like right in between the breast and the leg. If you're hitting bone, you're not doing okay, and you can see the lines right where you need to cut. And also too, you want to pop that little bone out, and then once you can see the bone, you're just going to go right underneath it as close to the other bone as possible. If you're hitting bone, just go right around it and use a sharp knife. This really makes everything nice and easy. You know you did a good job when you got the thigh, the leg, and the skin can flap all the way around. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to separate the breast from the backbone. This is a great part of the chicken to save to make chicken stock. It's super flavorful, super bony, and there's not a lot of meat on there. So we're going to put this in the freezer with our chicken wing tips, and we're going to make a broth out of that one day in the future. So now let's split these breasts. So the breast got the bone right in the middle. We're going to take our knife and we're going to cut right into that middle bone just to separate out the two sides. Once we separate out the two sides, we're going to follow the breastbone all the way down, and I'm just dragging my knife tip on the breastbone, and if I need to reposition the chicken, I'm not going to turn myself around, I'm going to turn the chicken. So make sure that you're putting the chicken where you can get your knife to it. Let me know in the comment section what you think about my butcher skills. I don't do this very often, maybe about like once or twice a month. And once we get that breast separated, we're going to trim off any of the little gristle that doesn't need to be there. Make it nice and pretty. And we're going to put that in with the rest of our chicken. Now let's start prepping our produce. This is really easy. So we're going to take 2 lemons. We're going to cut them into quarters. A lot of the prep for this recipe is cutting everything into really large chunks to make it the prep as easy as possible. This is a wonderful dinner to make on a weeknight, so you don't want to use extra time that you don't have to, so we're going to keep everything as simple as possible. So these garlic cloves, we're just going to crush them. We don't have to mince them, and that's really fast. These whole herbs, so we get some thyme, some sage, and my favorite, rosemary. Love rosemary. And we're just going to keep these just like this. We don't have to do anything with them. We're just going to throw them right inside the container. And now we're going to use some shallots. If you don't have any shallots lying around, you can always use an onion. But we're just going to take the outside skin off, and we're just going to cut them into really large chunks. And this is going to save just so much time. And throw that right in there. The last vegetable that we're going to have to prep in this super easy chicken dish is some scallions. And we're just going to cut those. We're going to cut the roots off and into really large pieces. So now let's start dressing the chicken and all the vegetables all together. So I'm going to drizzle on some olive oil. Now I'm going to use some of my base seasoning. So this is a blend of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. There's a link to the video recipe in the description. And now I'm just going to kitchen sink this and start grabbing some spice blends and throwing it on there. This is a Cajun blend that I used in a couple of recipes, like my crispy wing recipe. Here is some lemon pepper from Mrs. Dash. Shout out to Mrs. Dash. And we're going to throw that on there too. We're going to sprinkle on some white wine. This is weeknight cooking where you're just grabbing stuff and throwing it on there, mixing it all together. And now with the white wine, the olive oil, and that spice blend, we're going to give this a nice mix and just make sure that everything is all well coated. So the chicken skin, all of those vegetables, and we're just going to keep mixing, and that's just going to really bring all the flavors together inside here. So now we're going to get a baking dish and we're going to start to pull out the vegetables. We want to make like a bed of vegetables and lemons and those herbs for the chicken to sit on. So as the chicken is cooking, it's rendering its chicken fat into the herbs. The herbs are cooking and those vegetables and herbs are bringing flavor up into the chicken. And we're going to make sure that we get everything out of there. You know, here at Chef Ange, it's no flavors left behind. So make sure you're scraping the bottom of that bowl and just spreading it all over the top of the chicken. Once that's been in the hot oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, this chicken's got some really nice color on it. So now we're going to reduce the temperature in the oven. And while that temperature's coming down in the oven, we're going to baste. So we're going to get our baster, we're going to tilt our pan over to the side, try to make a little well where we can pick up some juices. And we're just going to go all over the top of this chicken, basting it with its own juices, taking all that flavor that's on the bottom, bringing it down to the top. And there's nothing better that makes chicken skin absolutely delicious like its own chicken fat. So now we've turned down the oven a little bit. This is going to go back in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. After 15 to 20 minutes, you can see this chicken has taken on some really, really nice color. We're really close to finishing, but we just want to baste this one more time before this goes back in the oven. So we're going to tilt the pan over. We're going to create that well, and the smell coming out of here is absolutely unbelievable. This is by far my favorite style of cooking, where you take ingredients, you put them in the oven with time and attention, and they cook inside of a sauce. Oh, this is so, so, so good. This is the essence of home cooking. Now we're going to put this back inside that oven and finish it up for another 15 to 20 minutes. After that, this chicken is done. Let's take a look at how beautiful this looks. But we're not going to stop there, so we're going to pull out our chicken, and you can see it's got really, really nice color on it. Now we're going to set each of these pieces very carefully on our serving platter, making sure not to damage that beautiful, beautiful skin on top. And we're going to try to leave as many of the lemons, the herbs inside the baking dish. But like I said before, no flavors left behind. So now we're going to make our wonderful, delicious sauce with this juice and all these vegetables and lemons inside of there. So we're going to take a strainer, we're going to put that inside of a small sauce pot, and we're going to take a wooden spoon and just smash all the liquid through. You're trying to work this as much as possible to get every last bit of juice outside of there. The stuff that's inside the shallots and the lemon, that's where the super concentrated flavor is. And after you're done, make sure you're scraping the bottom of the strainer. That stuff is absolute gold. So once that looks like a really dry mush, we're going to take this, we're going to put this on the stove, and we're going to make our sauce. We're going to put a little knob of butter in there. We're going to let that butter melt. Then we're going to use some guar gum for some thickener. I've been loving using just a little bit of guar gum. It's so much easier to use than flour, and it's gluten-free for all you gluten-free people out there. And we're going to give that a whisk, and you can see how easy that turns into a nice silky sauce and emulsifies the solids and the oil that's inside the sauce. Make sure you use a little bit, not a lot. So this chicken's been cooling down for a little bit, and it's ready to get sliced. Let's go with the breast here, the supreme Cadillac of the chicken. Chicken breast doesn't have to be boring, especially when it's cooked like this. Look at that beautiful skin on the outside. We're going to take this, we're going to transfer that over to our plate, and now we're going to spoon on our beautiful silky gravy sauce. Look at this sauce. No watery sauce here, definitely not broken. This is just a little hack that gets a really, really nice, silky, delicious sauce on top of this chicken without having to make a roux or get a broken sauce.
All right, so before we eat this wonderful looking chicken breast that's all sauced up, we're gonna eat the little chef snack. So the whole chicken feeds a family of 4, so that's 2 people get a leg, 2 people get a breast, and the chef gets the little wing snack. That's just a great opportunity to taste what you did before you get to eat dinner. For all your hard work. Now that we've had our appetizer wings, let's get into this chicken breast. So this thing looks absolutely unbelievable. Let's get one of these like nice center pieces right here for our taste test. Let's get some of that sauce on there. Lemony, savory. That is absolutely wonderful. The sauce savory, and it's got that roasted lemon flavor, which I absolutely love. You can taste all the fresh herbs. Last bite. Well, if you like this chicken dish, I got a bunch of chicken recipes, so check out my roast chicken, and I'll also throw on this chicken playlist because I got a bunch of chicken recipes. Check out those, and I'll see you there. Thanks.